Babaji, yeah. No, I wanted to just pass around the picture. So Babaji is one of the masters I've connected with, and he's one of the few masters I've seen with my eyes open. So one of the times I was reading the autobiography Yogi, if anybody's familiar with that book, that's a transmission, and whatever the intention of Paramahansa Yogananda was writing that book was to transmit his understanding, his consciousness of the masters into that book, with Jesus, with Mother Mary, with Babaji, and there's many masters in that book that you can really tune into and feel when you're reading it. And one of them was Babaji. And so when I read the book, I had this deep fervor, this deep desire in my heart to connect with Babaji, and I kept calling him out. And I kept praying and kept crying, and not crying out of sadness. Are you okay, Jeanette? Is it that cold? You want to stand next to me? I'm burning up right now. Yeah, so what happened was I kept calling him Babaji, and I kept feeling his presence, and I saw his outline above me. And I just felt this wave of energy come in. I was like, whoa, okay. I looked up and I saw him in lotus position and directly above me. As I said, oh, I knew something was going to happen, so I'm going to close my eyes. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And so, may I, Sarah?
Sure.
He tapped me on the third eye, and it went into this deep vision of where he showed me where I was many lifetimes with him. So this is one example of the masters when we call upon them from our hearts. It's not like, okay, Master, show up, it's time. That's one way of doing it, that's opening up the doorway, that's opening up the passage, and whatever else is maybe, I don't want to use the word blocking, but whatever we're not able to perceive, they're going to communicate whatever levels they're going to come to us in. And so we may be expecting it to see. I didn't always see, I would feel them. And I'd have to be in bed, and I'd be sleeping, and somebody would come lay down next to me, and they'd be like, okay, something just came down and laid next to me. Like, who are you? What's your name? And at first it freaked me out because I wasn't aware of all these beings that were coming in. Then I started practicing level of discernment and asking their name. Who are you? Does this feel right? Are you asking anything for me? And then most of the times the masters would just come in very strongly and they would share something. Whether it was a light, an activation, just heart opening, love. Mother Mary's come in many times. I've just not ever raised religious or Catholic or anything, but Mother Mary has come in many times just to be there and comforting me and holding me. More than once she's come in and hugged me. I remember just waking up one morning and looking up and I just saw her pointing to her sacred heart, the apparition of her, and I was like, oh wow, there's Mother Mary. I'm looking up at her and she's not saying anything. I'm going, oh, hi. And that's something that I'm just giving an example of connecting with the masters. What she was there presenting was the message that she didn't need to say anything to me, just emanating that love from her heart. And that's what we're talking about essentially, is we can get through to those levels by connecting from our heart and by following what our heart is asking us to do. When Sarah was talking about connecting on those different levels and going on vacation, there was this process where I went through, at the age of 24, I started opening my heart up consciously and started focusing light upon that. But what happened, my whole reality shifted. And once we're focusing on our heart, we're perceiving more than 2,000 bits of reality. We're activating parts of our brain that are dormant.